She moved into my bachelor pad. She brought in the plants to kind of make our small little apartment look like a living space.
I would like to say that I calmly collected these plants, but that would be completely misleading.
I counted 130 plants. As the plant walls were closing in, my wife was spending more and more time with the plants and less time with me. At the same time, I lost my job and I wanted to get my Amazon Web Services certification.
Hey, sweetie.
And I needed something to help me with my AWS studies. So I put two and two together and thought, well, what if I came up with something like a little sensor that sits inside the plant and monitors temperature and humidity and light and sends the data up into the cloud. So we cobbled together the electronics, and then it was kind of getting it from the screen into the cloud. And so that was where AWS came in. It's a toolbox with an infinite number of tools. Eventually, moisture got a little low, and then my phone went off, and it was a message from the plant telling me that it was thirsty. And we were both like, that's amazing. I posted about it on LinkedIn, and people just started coming out of the woodwork. I realized I kind of accidentally just started a consulting company. And so now I'm the founder of Digimatic, and I'm helping my clients to navigate their changing needs within Amazon Web Services. We joke all the time that she's the form in our relationship and I'm the function. So we have a nice kind of symbiotic relationship where she loves taking care of the plants. I love having the plants around. One of the most gratifying things was just kind of collaborating with my wife and combining her expertise with my expertise to come up with something greater than the sum of the parts. So that's kind of that.
Hello, everyone. I'm Maureen Lonergan, Worldwide Director of AWS Training and Certification. And today, I'm excited to talk with you about AWS Cloud Learning. I've been with AWS for 8 years, and I've watched cloud technology transform everything from how people work and do business to how we shop, consume entertainment, and now, thanks to Bodhi, perhaps how we take care of our plant life. What I love most about Bodhi's story is that at its core, it's the story of so many of us in technology. We're all just people who see a problem, think, there must be a smarter way to do this, and we get to work building something new. For Bodhi, that meant using a period of his unemployment to refresh his skills and get AWS certified. Just like Bodhi, there's no limit to what you and your teams can build with AWS Cloud if you have the right knowledge and expertise. Learning is fundamental to staying on top of the rapid change of pace in our work. And for me, learning is my work. Learning is the spark that ignites curiosity, innovation, and transformation. Close your eyes and think for a moment about a time when you were struggling to learn something new. What did that feel like when you finally had that aha moment and everything just clicked? Maybe it was like a light bulb going off and seeing things in a whole new light. Or maybe it was a feeling of overwhelming accomplishment, like the way I feel after a long morning run. Whatever it was, I bet it was empowering. Learning is empowering. I think Kofi Annan said it best. Education is the great equalizer of our time. We see this in tech all the time with both businesses and individuals. For organizations, educating your workforce drives innovation and increases your chances of success. For individuals, education opens doors to new jobs or careers you may have thought were out of reach, or in some cases, didn't even know existed. And in this way, it's no understatement to say that learning can change lives. For our friend Bodhi, the education he received through AWS training and certification led to a new career path as a founder of his own consulting firm, and now he's helping others navigate their changing needs within AWS. Learning empowered Bodhi to take his career to the next level, and it can also be incredibly powerful for those just starting out in the cloud. I'd love to introduce you to Jared Gaines, a recent graduate from one of our cloud education programs. Jared is a personal trainer in Boston, and at the start of this year, he had a plan. He was getting ready to open his own fitness center and build out an independent wellness brand. But then the pandemic hit, and just like millions of people around the world, his plans were suddenly up in the air. As people quarantined and avoided in-person services like training, Jared spent weeks considering his next steps. Through a friend, he heard about a free program that trained people for careers in cloud technology, and he was intrigued, even though his own tech experience at that point was very limited. Jared applied and was accepted into the program and spent the summer taking virtual classes, hands-on labs in Linux, Python, network, security, and more. Jared graduated with the skills needed to land a role troubleshooting software at a research and development company in Boston. Jared is now a few months into his new role, and he's thriving at a time when so many face uncertainty, both at home and at work. His new job lets him work from home and support his son's online learning, and he's looking forward to applying his skills to innovate for his fitness business in the future. The program that Jared graduated from is AWS Restart, and according to Jared, he was given a restart on life. This is the power of learning and why AWS Training and Certification has made it our mission to train millions of learners in the cloud every year, just like Jared and Bodhi. In fact, cloud computing is the #1 hard skill companies need most, according to LinkedIn study from 2019. IDC Futurescape predicts that by 2022, an estimated 30% of global IT jobs will be left open, while employers large and small compete for talent. So if you're curious about the cloud or looking to grow your career, there's never been a better time to learn. At AWS, we ensure that as fast as the cloud is changing, the education we offer keeps pace. This year alone, we've launched dozens of new trainings, and we've expanded our digital offerings and moved to virtual instructor-led training. While the pandemic has changed some of the way we deliver learning, it certainly hasn't changed the need for it. Many organizations are accelerating their move to the cloud or expanding their cloud utilization to better support their customers. But we're also seeing regular people like Bodhi who want to modernize their current skills and capitalize on our flexible training to learn while they're at home. Today, we'll look at how we use learning to close the skills gap and empower diverse builders of today and tomorrow. We do this by growing and validating individual expertise, driving broad-scale digital transformation with enterprise cloud fluency and reskilling, promoting upskilling, innovation with a culture of continuous learning, and finally, developing a diverse future workforce with a new set of learners just like Jared. No matter where you are, we empower you at every stage of the cloud journey. So let's dive in. We want to make learning accessible to anybody who wants to learn. For me, I like being in the classroom. I like the hands-on, have the ability to ask an expert my question, and be answered right there. But we know that not everyone learns the same way. I think about this every time I see my niece and nephew watching videos on a tablet. More and more, especially younger people like them, prefer the convenience and comfort of being able to learn on their own. To meet that need, we've grown a free digital training library of more than 500 courses that are available on demand anytime, anywhere. Many of our courses are localized to meet the needs of international learners, and we're investing in more localized content in the coming years to support a truly global workforce. As you can imagine, this model has dramatically helped accommodate learners in the current environment. Digital training is ready to support you, whether you want to go deep on a specialized topic or if you're just curious and want to take the first steps towards cloud. In fact, one of our most popular courses is AWS Cloud Practitioner. It provides the fundamentals of the cloud for new learners like this one. This guy might not look like your typical learner, and honestly, he's not, because he's extra special to me. He's my dad, and if he can learn the basics of cloud, I think anybody can. Much like me, my dad has a passion for learning. Recently, during a conversation with him about how pictures from his mobile device were stored in the cloud, he said he didn't fully understand how the cloud worked. I said, well, you're in luck, because we build foundational level cloud curriculum, and suggested he take a course. So when you or my dad are ready to learn more, We have new digital courses all the time, especially as we release new AWS services and capabilities. You can get started at aws.training or use one of our many digital partners like Coursera or edX. I mentioned earlier that one of my favorite ways to learn is in the classroom, and we find it's a highly effective way to increase your skill set. Learning live with an instructor and other students, getting real-time feedback, for some, it goes a long way to retaining and reinforcing the content. Typically, these courses are delivered in a classroom, but in the current environment, we've quickly pivoted almost exclusively to live virtual training. Now the classroom comes to you, right in your living room, bedroom, or wherever your home office may be these days. And even though they are virtual, all of our AWS instructors and our AWS training partners work hard to deliver the same quality experience you would gain in person. When we think about training anyone that wants to learn, it requires us to meet people where they are. One of the newest training vehicles is Amazon's live streaming platform, Twitch. This summer, we launched our AWS Power Hour series that focuses on topics such as machine learning and cloud practitioner. We're excited about the possibilities for this program. So if you have thoughts about that, please let us know in the post-session survey. So let's talk for a bit about AWS certification, which are amongst the most highly rated and sought after in the industry. I'm proud to say that more than 400,000 individuals hold active AWS certifications. The diverse global community includes people at large and well-established companies and those at emerging startups. No matter where you are in your cloud journey or what your path you're taking to learning, it's easy to understand why certification is a goal for so many. Organizations trust and are looking for AWS certified talent. So get certified and propel your career. Let's hear the impact certification has had for just a few of our learners.
I find the certification highly useful in terms of getting you into the space you want to be in a very short period of time.
Certification gives you the proof that you need to showcase that you have the skills required for a specific market.
It's a goal that you can pursue, so you're not just learning for the fun of, well, I want to learn everything.
It's allowed us to expand some roles of team members. For example, we had a project manager before who was typically managing IT projects. He's now certified and he's pivoted into cloud architecture.
I think that when people are working with certified professional, they will feel more confident about the work that we are doing together.
A lot of my clients are cloud native. Studying for the Solutions Architect test gave me a broad view of the services AWS provides, so I could understand better how they control and manage data.
Technology is moving so fast, and each day we have different things happening.
Continually evolving is the only way you stay fresh in IT.
And then now you can validate it. Yes, I actually know, and I have retained this knowledge.
To me, it means that you've taken the time and you've dedicated that time to furthering yourself.
It's really great. It's a good feeling.
Today we have 12 certifications ranging from foundational cloud practitioner certification to role-based certifications like architecting, operations, and developing. We're especially excited about our growing offerings of specialty certifications for those with deep expertise within a specific topic area like machine learning or security. Whether you have a few months or many years of AWS cloud experience, you can choose from a range of certifications to highlight your skills and expertise. This is Aishwarya, a member of our AWS certified community who I had the pleasure of meeting last year. Throughout her whole life, she had planned to be a doctor and thought medicine was the best way to make a tangible impact on the world. She had done everything to work towards that goal. But then one day, when she was working on a hospital research team, her perspective changed. She was seeing the healthcare system in real time and realized cloud technology was the key to innovating and scaling the impact of medicine. So she decided to follow a technology path by studying computer science and getting AWS certified at just 19 years old. For Aishwarya, her certifications are a critical proof point that she could learn and apply AWS cloud services. They empowered her with the confidence to hold her own in tech environments where she couldn't have imagined herself just a year earlier. And they've helped her advance as a consultant and engineer at Slalom Consulting, where her skills and education impact a wide range of customers across pharma, finance, and big data. The experience of learning has had such a profound impact on Aishwarya that she's become a vocal advocate for empowering women in tech. And a little later, I'll share more about what this has meant for women at Slalom. If you're thinking about joining Aishwarya in our certified community, the best preparation is practical experience. But we also offer training courses, exam guides, practice exams, and more. When you're ready, you can take the exam from the convenience of your home or office with online proctoring. At this point, I'd like to talk more about how we empower people across enterprise organizations, starting with those taking the first steps towards digital transformation. Moving to the cloud is a big undertaking for any organization. Even for traditional IT professionals, moving to the cloud requires skills and understanding a new way of doing business. This was the exact situation Capital One found themselves in a few years back, when their CIO made a bold commitment to transform the banking company through AWS cloud technology. Capital One's Learning Program Manager, LaVonda Perkins, is here to share more about how we partnered with them on a solution to help them meet their cloud goals.
My name's LaVonda Perkins. I am the Tech College Learning Program Manager for the Cloud and Cyber Disciplines. In this role, I manage the learning strategies for cloud and cyber for all associates at Capital One. In 2015, Capital One's CIO, Rob Alexander, declared at reInvent that Capital One would be all in on the cloud. Since that time, Capital One has made massive transformation in the way that we work so we can continue changing banking for good for our customers. Capital One associates had to also adapt a new mindset in order to go along with this change. Tech College was founded in 2017 to provide technical education resources to our associates at Capital One. This year, we set a goal to have 30% of our engineers certified. I'm happy to announce that today we have reached that goal. We accomplished the goal of having 1,100 software engineers certified in just one calendar year. And we're working to our next goal of having 100% of our engineers certified by end of calendar year for 2021. We shared our ambitious goal with AWS and formed an even stronger partnership. We started by sourcing our peer-to-peer learning community, also known as our GOSU community. GOSU is a Korean term translating to mean highly skilled. We depended on our GOSU to help us create training, lead study groups, as well as mentor associates who were looking to get AWS certified. We made sure to provide all types of training because, as you know, not all adult learners learn the same way. Some learners prefer instructor-led training, while others prefer self-paced. After solidifying the plan, we shared the plan with our leadership team. Leadership buy-in is crucial when creating a plan because your leaders can help with communicating the plan. We had several associates go on to get certified, and we made sure that those associates were recognized. After our associates report to us that they have their certification, we send them an email along with their manager copied, and we're also recognizing associates in internal newsletters for those who've become certified. As a result of creating our training plan, we have seen an increase of over 20% of our AWS certifications year to date by using our community-based learning approach. Through this approach, we've seen associates take on new roles within the company, as well as lead study groups and mentor other associates. Our associates have felt empowered to be thought leaders and knowledge leaders within this space. We have found that an increase in AWS certifications has led to an improvement of our tech landscape in quality, resiliency, and velocity. which means we'll continue being the main cheerleaders for our associates to continue getting AWS certified so everyone can be on the same page when it comes to being all in on the cloud, so we can continue changing banking for good for our customers. Thank you so much for your time and have a great rest of your reInvent.
In most cases, just like Capital One, reaching your cloud goals will require you to reskill the in-house talent that you already have. And this isn't a bad thing. The people you have today are the people you need for tomorrow. They may not be cloud technology experts, but they are experts on your organization and your customers. They understand your company's mission, value, and the culture that you're operating in. Your people can more easily lean into the organization's strengths and navigate areas of opportunity. With a strong commitment to training, they are a prime candidate to meet your new technology needs. To reskill your workforce, we partner with you to analyze where your talent is now, envision where you need to go, and build a comprehensive training program to get there. Comprehensive training cloud fluency and reskilling delivers results, some of which LaVonda mentioned. A focus on broad skill enablement allows companies to jumpstart innovation, lower their operational risk, and increase productivity and ROI. With cloud training, you can get to market faster, drive revenue faster, and capitalize on AWS cost savings faster. Cloud fluency happens when everybody is speaking the same language. So before we get to how we train your people, I want to be clear about who exactly it is we are training. Quite simply, everyone. Everyone at your organization should understand the fundamentals and the value of cloud, from technical folks and line of business owners to your sales, marketing, and finance teams, even your administrative teams. This is what we call cloud fluency. It means everyone is speaking the same language, so there's alignment between those making business decisions and those carrying out the work to deliver on your goals. So how do you build cloud fluency? The biggest challenges we see aren't technical. They're about people and culture. The biggest differences between organizations that talk about moving to the cloud and those that actually do it successfully often comes down to a few key things. When I speak with CIOs, the first thing I recommend is vocal executive sponsorship to communicate the vision. Just as LaVonda shared, leadership buy-in is crucial. The senior leadership team needs to be aligned and truly committed to a set of an aggressive top-down goal that forces the organization to move faster than it would have organically, just like the leaders at Capital One did. With that goal in hand, leaders need to communicate clear direction and expectations with the rest of the organization and get everyone on the same page and working towards the same thing. It's easy for others to do nothing or block things if leadership team isn't making the move a priority and building a culture for change. Next, you want to create a community and identify your champion network. In Capital One's case, this is what they refer to as their GoSu community. Nominate champions from across the organization in diverse roles, not just managers or senior individuals, but IT and non-IT people, and invite their input and give them permission to lead. Champions can help drive excitement from cross-departmental work groups and encourage people to find new ways to share knowledge and collaborate. Once that's in place, we can get to the business of actually training your people with new skills. To design a comprehensive training program that meets your unique needs, we assess the current skill level of your workforce and design learning paths by role and skill level. The same free digital training courses we discussed earlier for individual learners are available to enterprise organizations, making them a very cost-effective way to skill up quickly. At many successful organizations, the Cloud Practitioner Essentials course is required at all levels and helps to drive fluency across the enterprise. Next, classroom training offers one of the most effective ways to accelerate your team's AWS knowledge and get their skills applied on the job as quickly as possible. Let's look at how classroom training benefited one of our customers, Gemby.
I'm Lawrence Walters. I'm a data scientist and technical program manager at Gemby Health Systems. Gemby Health Systems is a not-for-profit organization JMB has a large footprint in Africa. JMB has a presence in 8 African countries and has over 150 employees. JMB has a vision of improving healthcare by means of information exchange and strengthening healthcare information systems. JMB intends to achieve this goal by means of fostering collaboration between governments, public and private healthcare, as well as academia. Depending on the various clients, we make recommendations in terms of how these software components can be best deployed. The nature of what JMB does in terms of supporting the exchange of information via using interoperability standards that are internationally accepted. The deployment mechanism of choice would be one that is centralized, such as the type of platform that Amazon Web Services provides. Low and middle income countries don't have many resources to manage complex healthcare information systems. By making use of Amazon Web Services, a lot of the complexity in terms of managing these systems can be offloaded onto the Amazon Web Services infrastructure. JMB actively encourages its employees to upskill themselves on the job, and it also provides a number of different training strategies for this. Amazon agreed to partner with JMB to provide training. I would highly recommend the classroom-based training. The combination of the actual classroom-based training with hands-on labs and interaction with other Amazon users on the day of the training is very worthwhile. The information that is covered is also available afterwards online and is updated on a regular basis. So as the actual products mature over time, so the training material is adapted and one can always go back and reference it at your own time, which enabled people at various levels in the organization to benefit from better understanding the environment and the product offered.
Like JMB, you can send your people to our publicly available classes, or you may prefer your own private training where an instructor delivers the class especially for your team. Just like our digital offerings, we have role-based training for those that make architectural decisions, those who write, test, and deploy code, and those who operate, scale, and monitor AWS environments. Earlier, we talked about the benefits of AWS certification for learners, but there's also a huge benefit to organizations that make this investment in their teams. In fact, 97% of IT decision makers at organizations who employ AWS certified staff say it puts their company in a better competitive position to succeed over the next 3 to 5 years. Investing in training and certification doesn't just improve productivity and collaboration, it drives greater staff retention and satisfaction. We often hear from executives who worry about the cost and the risk of people taking their new knowledge elsewhere, leaving them back at square one, looking for talent. But what we've actually seen is quite the opposite. 96% of those surveyed agreed that their decision to support AWS certification improved employee retention among cloud-focused staff. And in 2018, Global Knowledge Study showed that IT professionals who took formal training in the year prior were 30% more satisfied in their roles. That makes them less likely to start looking for work elsewhere. And this mirrors what we're hearing from our customers. At National Australia Bank, the training team started working with them. NAB had plans to migrate to AWS Cloud, but didn't have the skills in place to do it. We worked hand in hand with them to develop a large-scale business and technical training program for more than 5,000 individuals. To date, we've trained more than 5,000 individuals, and 1,500 of those are currently certified. Today, they're averaging 12 certifications a week, which is amazing. One of the most important things to note, they've reduced their attrition from 20% to 8%, and now they're seen as an innovative employer that invests in employee development programs. Through Cloud Fluency and reskilling, you empower your people to come along with you on the journey to the cloud. You increase your ability to deliver on the cloud adoption goals, and ultimately, what you're able to do for your customers. You also demonstrate your commitment to your people, your training, and increase your ability to retain skilled talent. It's a win-win all around, and we're ready to work with you and make it happen. Once Cloud Fluency and comprehensive training programs are in place, we can empower your team to reach the next level through upskilling and innovation programs. This is when you truly transform your organization by embedding a culture of learning. Cloud Fluency just teaches people how to cloud, but with the culture of learning, your people teach each other how we cloud here. This is an ongoing effort where people have the space and freedom to experiment and fail, and are also recognized and rewarded when they achieve a goal. This is exactly what one of our customers, Kmart Australia, wanted to work towards when they came to us for help.
We operate more than 500 stores in the Kmart Group in Australia and New Zealand primarily, and we have 50,000 employees across the region. We sell about 1 billion units every year in Kmart, and lowest price, that's our positioning in the market. There's two things that we're trying to do within the technology team at Kmart, and going all in cloud helps deliver on both of them. So the first one is around delivering more innovation more quickly for our customers, and being a cloud-first company enables us to do that. And then the second thing we want to do is deliver great product at a low price. We didn't just consider it a technological change, we actually considered it to be a cultural and mindset change. And that for me is actually the bigger benefit. So we worked with AWS to develop a skills guild, which we called Spark.
The Spark Group was a community set up within the Kmart Group to help motivate and drive the AWS learnings and certification. They held a lot of training sessions for us, gave us a lot of resource recommendations. They also held a lot of individual work groups where experts within the group would answer our questions, walk through the exam questions with us, and really help motivate us and stay on track.
I think as a non-technical person, it's really important to have a community around you to help you succeed in your certification. I couldn't have done that without the community I had at Kmart. It was amazing.
AWS training has really reignited my passion for education. I left university well over a decade ago, so I haven't really been studying the way I used to, and preparing for the exam really reminded me the fun and enjoyment there is when it comes to education and self-learning.
So at a minimum, we recommended that people took more than 20 hours training from AWS, which is available both online and in classroom settings. So it was 100% all in. It became a goal for us to get every single person in technology certified. It also became a goal to get more than 80% of non-technology staff trained, not necessarily certified, but certainly trained in cloud fundamentals. So that meant me, I'd become certified. My executive assistant became certified. Not only that, our CEO, he also became certified as part of our efforts. So it allows our business teams to talk to our technology teams in languages that they understand.
Spark was a wonderful community that really helped us build that excitement and really nail our goal.
Achieving the AWS certification was a really proud moment for me. It gave me a lot of pride and inspiration in being part of the Kmart Group.
The AWS training and certification team have provided phenomenal support to me and the entire leadership team, as well as all of Kmart, in helping us become trained and certified in cloud concepts and in cloud computing. And we've had whole groups of people outside of technology ask, we've heard about Spark, we've heard about this community guild that you have, and we'd like to become a part of it. Tell us more about cloud, tell us about what you're doing and how you're doing it.
The challenge has made me see that there are a lot of opportunities that even non-technical people can take up when it comes to things like AWS certification and cloud knowledge, and that's just the tip of the iceberg if you ask me.
The advice I give to other executives who are thinking or considering a digital or cloud transformation is just to get started. I'd stop thinking about it and start doing.
When you embed a culture of learning like Kmart, you accelerate organizational transformation, and innovation happens organically and sustainably. Creating this environment isn't easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. To help you in your journey, we've created the AWS Skills Guild model, which was the foundation for Kmart's Spark program. Skills Guild is built around the key best practices we consistently see drive innovation and sustainable culture of learning. It starts with the same 3 things that you do when you build cloud fluency: vocal executive sponsorship, architecting a community, comprehensive training to develop new skills. But to accelerate your transformation and level up the next are 2 key steps. First, give permission. If you want to supercharge innovation, you have to let people know that this is a safe space to experiment. You want to build an environment where failure isn't fatal, it's actually fundamental. You know, we have several leadership principles at AWS, and one that always stands out to me is think big. When you give your people permission, you allow them to think big on how they approach challenges and solutions that they create for your customers. Then, incentivize, recognize, and reward your people. Use your community and champions to encourage friendly competition for staff to innovate and prepare for certification exams. Celebrate those who got certified because it took a lot to achieve that. We can partner with you and create a Skills Guild program that's uniquely tailored to your organization. And remember, with the right plan in place, you can empower everyday learners to become enthusiastic skill seekers and fearless innovators. Empowering today's learners is important, but let's look at what we're doing to empower the workforce of the future. At AWS, we believe the future of tech is diverse, and we strive to create an inclusive environment that attracts and develops remarkably bright, driven, and inventive builders of all backgrounds. That's why we want to provide educational opportunities that are accessible to anyone that has a desire to learn. When you remove barriers to education, you level the playing field and you can create a stronger and more diverse team of builders. This mission has never been more pressing than today's environment. As we know, organizations have been forced to downsize their workforce, and a recent study from Lean In tells us this is impacting women at a far higher rate than men. In the US, data from the CDC and the US Bureau of Labor Statistics tells us that people from some racial and ethnic minority groups are disproportionately represented in many essential work settings. These include healthcare facilities, factories, grocery stores, settings that may put them at greater risk on the front line. As the pandemic continues, we believe more people will want to, or in some cases, be forced to rethink their future employment. This gives us a renewed sense of purpose when it comes to building a diverse pipeline of talent and making cloud careers a viable and highly attractive option. So let me tell you more about some of the opportunities I'm most excited about. Let's begin with AWS Restart program that our friend Jared graduated from, and hear what the program did for Victory, another Restart graduate.
Before joining the program, I was volunteering mostly, just speaking to young girls and trying to get them into STEM industry, but ironically, I wasn't in a STEM industry, so I didn't feel like I was much of an inspiration. So I desperately wanted to be that for them and to try out just being in an organization where I was working with IT or doing something with IT technologies. The learning experience has been great. I've learned so much through this course. And I think also what we learned about the mindset, growth mindset and all that really, really helped, because naturally, I wouldn't want to try things like Linux or Python or programming languages, but having people around you as well was very helpful, and having such an amazing teacher who just encouraged you over and over again until you get it was pivotal to my growth and my learning. So overall, I found this whole course and learning about the different technologies really life-changing. My advice for someone who is considering applying for this program is to just apply, just do it. You learn so much and you find out new things about yourself that you never thought were there, and you get a job as well. So that's just amazing, and it's for free as well. So yeah, please just do it. You won't regret it.
Restart's a 12-week, full-time, classroom-based program focused on unemployed or underemployed individuals, including military veterans and their families and young people. As Victory shared, she started the program with no background in technology. We provide all the skills and the training needed, so the only thing we ask from applicants is to bring an excitement and willingness to learn. We partner with workforce development programs around the world to train learners for entry-level cloud positions and connect graduates with local employers. AWS Restart operates in 25 cities around the world, and we expect to double that by the end of 2021. We provide free coursework and cover fees in order for participants to obtain AWS certifications. Learners gain practical skills through real-world scenario-based learning labs and coursework. We also provide resume and interview coaching to prepare for employer meetings and interviews. These graduates exit the program as competent cloud practitioners ready to fill in-demand cloud roles. Here, a few employers share the success they've had hiring from AWS Restart.
The alumni that we have recruited from the AWS Restart program are delivering solutions for our clients. They get incredible feedback and they contribute significantly to our organisation internally.
Restart is a fantastic program to get intakes who are either unemployed or underemployed or underrepresented within the industry, skilled up to the level of cloud practitioner.
It's become more important to hire and grow junior individuals because it's actually really difficult to hire really experienced people at small company money. And so we like to grow our talent, bring on people who have the right attitude and teach them some of the technical skills rather than hiring for the technical skills.
It's a chance to get good, enthusiastic engineers into our workforce, and it's a great way of helping increase diversity and inclusion within the industry.
One alumni that joined us was nominated for a Regional Female in Tech Award as well, which is a great credit to herself and a great credit to the AWS Restart program.
I would absolutely recommend other AWS partners to get in touch with Restart. I think this is one of those programs where literally everyone wins.
If you're an employer who wants to hire from AWS Restart, visit us online to learn more. AWS Academy is a little different. In this program, we focus on bridging the gap between industry and academia. We provide higher education institutions around the world with free, ready-to-teach cloud curriculum that prepares students to fill a wide range of in-demand cloud roles. The curriculum is developed and maintained by AWS, which helps educators stay at the forefront of AWS cloud innovation and assures students they're getting the most current and relevant content. Let's hear from one of our educators in Ireland.
In Dublin, there is a huge demand for IT and software graduates right across the board. In participating in the AWS Academy, the students develop and obtain skills which add a certain amount of advantage to them in terms of obtaining employment. So, for example, we see that students who go through the AWS Academy process and who obtain certification qualifications will typically see a premium in their salary higher and beyond what this cohort for that particular year will see.
Academy learners are generally enrolled in a degree or continuous education program, pursuing computer science, information systems, business, or related subjects. AWS Academy can be found in 35 countries around the globe, which means we're opening doors for higher education students well beyond those in major tech hubs. The rigorous curriculum is integrated directly into the school's programs and aligned to AWS certification. With hands-on experience in the AWS cloud, AWS graduates are ready with the skills and knowledge they need to add value at any company in need of cloud talent. As we work to widen the pipeline of future talent, sometimes we have the opportunity to work directly with a customer to reach underrepresented groups within their own organization. Let's look at what happens when a company's leadership decides to focus on women in tech and goes all in this effort with AWS.
We are at one of the most defining moments of our lifetimes. There are many reasons to be pessimistic, but I believe we're at the best time in history to create a better world. And today, I want to share with you a goal that we could work on together that would make a significant difference in accelerating equality throughout the world. Hi, I'm Brad Jackson, CEO of Slalom. I am so grateful to be here with you. On behalf of my Slalom teammates and all AWS partners, I want to say thank you to AWS for the remarkable difference you are making in our lives and our communities, and for the value you have unlocked for our joint customers. We were fortunate to become one of the first AWS partners back in 2010, and we bet the future of our business on cloud. It turned out to be a great bet. Today, Slalom's an organically grown $2 billion company with 39 offices around the world, and I believe we will welcome our 10,000th team member in 2021. None of this would have happened without AWS. We have a big vision to help build a world in which each person has the opportunity to love their work and their life. To achieve this vision, we must realize equality. At reInvent in 2018, I shared a metric that I was not proud of. At the time, only 6% of our AWS certifications were held by women. I challenged my team and all of us to work together to achieve gender parity in certifications. I'm excited to share with you that today, the Slalom team will achieve nearly 1,000 new certifications in 2020, and that more than 50% will be earned by women. And we're not stopping there. Our next step is to accelerate the certification path for all underrepresented populations. So what's this goal we could work on together? What if AWS certifications were in parity with the demographics of the communities in which we live? What if we could achieve equality in certifications? Not only is it the right thing to do for our organizations, it makes remarkable business sense as our teams build and bring to life products and services for all. Together, we can nurture the next generation of leaders in technology. Together, we can lead with empathy by ensuring that our teams become a mirror image of our customers' customers. Together, we can create a better future for our world. And we can start today by committing to the shared success at scale by achieving equality across all AWS certifications. Thank you.
Slalom is a company that is thinking big and being really intentional about raising people up and making tech more inclusive and equitable. One of the women at Slalom leading this effort is Aishwarya, who I introduced you to earlier. She was inspired by Brad Jackson, Slalom's CEO, and wanted to empower women through learning. I met Aishwarya at a partner advisory board meeting last year where she described her experiences and desire to build programs for women in tech. This discussion led to building a pilot program to build cloud skills for Slalom's female employees in non-tech roles. We hope for 300 participants, and to date, we've had almost 900. Many have now earned their cloud practitioner certification, and some are on the path to achieving AWS Certified Solutions Architect. These women are now better equipped to understand their business and support their customers, and we're thrilled to help them increase their value in the company and broaden their career opportunities. In the coming year, we look forward to expanding efforts to reach allies and other underrepresented groups. We've covered a lot of ground today, so I'll close by saying this. AWS Cloud can change the world and the way people live their lives, but none of that is possible without education. Education ignites curiosity, innovation, and transformation. No matter where you're at in your cloud journey, we have the tools and resources to empower you, your teams, and your organizations. There's never been a better time to learn, and we make it easier than ever. So what are you waiting for? Thank you so much for your time today, and please don't forget to take the post-session survey. Have a fantastic reInvent 2020.